Now, if the words social media bring to mind startups, college kids on flip-flops, on computers in their dorm rooms, think again. The world's biggest companies are spending serious time and big money getting their web strategies right. And you're about to hear from some of the people behind those efforts in a special Taking Stock think tank. Scott Monty is the global digital manager for Ford. We also have Frank Eliason. He is the senior vice president of social media for Citigroup. And you also might remember Frank as the man behind the Comcast Cares program. Also with us in this is the man who's bringing all of these media geniuses together in Las Vegas right now, Rick Calvert. He is the CEO, the chief executive of Blog World. Rick Calvert, gentlemen, welcome to Taking Stock. Rick, tell me, what is Blog World?
Well, in short, it's the world's largest social media event, which means we bring together bloggers, podcasters, internet radio, TV broadcasters, and businesses who are interested in doing business with those content creators.
Now, how did you start Blog World? I mean, did it exist all the time? I mean, blogs are relatively new in the world of books and movies. Where did you come up with the idea?
They are relatively new. So I've been in the trade show business for a while. I've produced some large events, but in 2005, I started a political blog because I like to argue about politics. I think that's fun. And it took off, and I was pretty successful at it, and I thought I should go to the blogging trade show and learn some more about this. Maybe I could make some money with this really fun hobby of mine. And it turned out there was no blogging conference, and so everybody I asked about it said, you should start that show right now, and Blog World was born.
And so how many people are attending Blog World in Las Vegas right now?
We'll have between 3,000 and 4,000 people here this year.
3,000 and 4,000 people. All right, Frank, let me come to you and ask you, when did you get interested in blogging? How did you become so expert at this?
I don't think there is an expert in it, but I actually will say I started a family website in 2000 for a daughter who was born premature, and that was blogging by today's definition. So I've been doing it for a long time. But in 2008, while I was at Comcast, we were helping customers in social spaces, just offering to assist. And we found there that not only did it create better experiences for those customers, but it also changed the company internally dramatically. And so the space itself has just been great for business.
Scott Monty, talk about blogging, social media, and what's happening at Ford Motor Company, because right now, for example, you can go to a Ford Motor website and you can sign up to do a virtual race in an automobile.
Well, that's right. We're calling it Focus Rally America. It's designed around a new 2012 Ford Focus, which is a global vehicle. It's got some of the most advanced technologies of any of our cars. So you can imagine that the folks that are here at Blog World Expo are really tied into that technology. They're also tied into the great fuel economy that we're touting with this car. So we're giving 6 teams of 2 people an opportunity to get a Ford Focus and to participate in this race, and for all of their followers, all of their online community, to be able to help them with clues and the puzzles along the way, so that ultimately the winning team, and this is in partnership with the creators of The Amazing Race and with Hulu online video, the winners will actually get $100,000, and they will have the opportunity to give away 10 Ford Focuses to the people out there in the interwebs who actually help them accomplish that goal. So there's an incentive there for people to participate from home, as well as to join us as far as casting calls to be one of those teams of 6.
Frank Eliason, I know that you're going to be signing up to do that race, but if you can, what do big companies not get yet when it comes to blogging and social media? What don't they understand?
They don't understand a few different elements. First of all, the key is listening in the space. I just saw a study the other day where companies talk about that they are listening in the space, but they've taken no action with the information. So the key is listening and then taking action internally. We've been doing that at Citi for a while, and we look to do it a lot further. Now, beyond that, though, social media is about human interactions. It is not the brand or a logo saying, here's what we think. It is about human beings interacting with each other, being a part of it, and bringing your employees to be a big piece of that as well.
Now, Frank, I know that before you were at Citigroup, that's where you are now, you were at Comcast, and you had a lot of notoriety there. You helped restore the cable company's image. It had been damaged by, well, a viral web video like this one. Just give a listen.
Some sleep. You can't go on like this. I tried counting sheep, but there's one I always miss.
All right. For those not actually watching, the cable repairman fell asleep during that repair experience. Frank, when you try to repair an image online, is it really that you've got to just open up and sort of, tell the truth about what's going on inside the company? Is that one of the effects of the blogosphere?
Oh, I think transparency is one of the best approaches that you can take in the space. You can energize people by doing it. We saw some of the things Domino's did when they had an issue going on, and they did an incredible job being very human in their response. That's part of that human aspect to things.
Scott, Monty, do you get the situation sometimes where people are testing your response, where they just want to see, are you really there? Are you really coming through with that Twitter response or with whatever blog you're supposed to be paying attention to?
Well, sometimes we get that, Tim, but even more interestingly, the people, just to show you how much of a culture shift it is, the people that are actually paying attention to some of the programs we sponsor will just mention Ford, say on Twitter, with that little @ sign in front of our name, whether or not they realize that we have an account. And then when we do respond, they're completely blown away that a huge mega global company would take the time to respond to one regular person. And what that does is it starts a dialogue, and everybody that they know suddenly is aware that Ford is engaging with them, and our reputation begins to increase simply by being engaged.
Rick Calvert, talking about big mega companies engaging with the public, you're getting a lot of engagements when it comes to big companies wanting to be at Blog World. What's changed over the years? Have you got some big names? What do you got? Fortune 500 companies are now mainstays.
We've got quite a few, yeah. Of course, Ford and Citibank are here, AT&T, Verizon, Comcast is here, Kodak, Sony, Southwest Airlines, Johnson & Johnson, a whole bunch of others. But that'll give you an idea of the kind of companies that are here. And as Scott and Frank both touched on, I mean, these really big companies have realized that social media allows them to connect with people on a much more personal, human level, which makes them feel smaller, and it makes their customers feel more comfortable doing business with them.
Scott, Monty, internally inside the company, how do you convince the people above you on the food chain to let go of the reins of control a little bit, to let people Twitter, to let people blog about the company and about the products and about the problems that normal people would contend with?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tim. I think the fact that the company actually created a position like the one I happen to inhabit right now is testament to their understanding that this is important. But secondarily, we've been doing something on a regular basis now. We just did one at the Paris Motor Show where we do a social media C-level jam. And we actually get 15 to 20 executives directly involved in online Q&As, video interviews, etc., with bloggers, with the new media, so they can touch it firsthand and they can experience it. One of the greatest examples I've got is getting our CEO, Mullaly, on Twitter to answer questions, and he was just blown away that here he is. The way I liken it is it's taking a movie actor who's usually separated from the audience and suddenly turning him into a stage actor where he can gauge the audience's reaction and actually respond to what they're saying. And Alan is a huge fan of what we're doing and really believes in it, helping to tell that one Ford story about our great products and our strong business plan.
Frank Eliason, you think you'll be getting a Twitter response from your appearance here from Vikram Pandit? I mean, do you get the executives at Citigroup? Are they interacting with you using this social media?
Vikram actually is a big fan of it. We're social media, especially looking at places like LinkedIn. But it comes down to think of it from your own experiences. So you may not think of it as social media, but when you buy a product today, if you're like me, you go to Amazon and read reviews. That's social media. And everything we do is changing, and how we do it is changing. So social media is part of everyone's lives, whether they realize it or not.
All right, I want to thank you, gentlemen, very much. Frank Eliason coming to us from Citibank, Scott Monty from Ford Motor Company, and Rick Calvert, the head of Blog World. All right.